again, boys and girls. Okay, we're going to learn another sight word today. Do you remember the one we learned yesterday? I'll write it, and you read it. H A V E. What is that? Have. Very good, right? We don't hear that E, so we still have the H making a short sound. Have. But we call it a sight word or a high frequency word because it's one you typically remember by sight because you see it frequently. So it's a high frequency word. Okay, the second word that you're going to learn today is, ready? F-O-R. That is 4. But it's not how you spell the number 4. This is, I have a gift for you. So, F-O-R is 4. H-A-V, have. So, I have a gift for you. Right now, I'm going to read you a story called No Roses for Harry. And Harry is one of my favorite dogs in stories. He's a funny doggy. No roses for Harry. Harry is a boy. It's a boy's name. Harry was a little white dog with black spots. On his birthday, he got a present from Grandma. It was a woolen sweater with roses on it. Harry didn't like it the moment he saw it. He didn't like roses. Right? Because some guys don't like to wear flowers because they think flowers are for girls. I think that's what Harry's thinking. But when he tried it on, it felt cozy and snug. But still, he didn't like the roses. He thought it was the silliest sweater he'd ever seen. The next day, when Harry went downtown with the children, he wore his new sweater. And when people saw it, they laughed. When dogs saw it, they barked. Harry made up his mind then and there it was time to lose Grandma's present. He's not looking too happy here. He's like, I got to get rid of this sweater. When they went into a big store to shop, the children took off his sweater and let him carry it. This was just what Harry wanted. He first tried to leave it in the department store. See, he snuck it on the table and he's running, trying to leave it there. But a man found it and came running after them. Excuse me, you forgot your sweater. Harry was not happy about that. Then he tried to lose it in the grocery store. So here's the man bringing it back. Here's Harry trying to lose it in the grocery store now. But a lady found it and gave it back. Oh, Harry's plan of getting rid of this sweater isn't working out so well. Then he tried to lose it in the flower department. Well, that's a clever idea, right? It has flowers on it. Maybe it would blend in with some of the flowers. Do you think he'll get rid of it now? Does anybody see him leaving it behind that could bring it back to him? I'm sure he hopes not. But a little boy found it and gave it back. Harry is not looking happy about that. The children didn't let Harry carry his sweater anymore. They made him wear it. As they started home, Harry was beginning to think he would never lose this ridiculous sweater with flowers on it. Those roses. No roses for Harry. When he got home, his friends were waiting to play with him. But Harry didn't feel much like playing, so they left him alone. As he sat wondering what to do, Harry noticed a loose string on his sweater. He pulled at the wool, just a little at first. Then a bit more, and a bit more. So what's happening? He keeps pulling that string. Do you ever have a loose string? Keep pulling it. Gets longer, right? Harry didn't know what to do. Harry didn't know it, but a bird was watching him from above. You see Harry in the yard he's pulling that string, and there's a bird watching Harry. In a minute, Harry had pulled out quite a long piece of wool from the sweater. The end of it laid in the grass behind him, and then suddenly the bird flew down. See? Ow. See the bird coming down? What do you think the bird's going to do? Quick as a flash, she took the end of the wool in her beak and flew away with it. It all happened before Harry could even blink. So see? Harry kept pulling the string and it was getting longer. The bird sees it and comes down for it. What do you think the bird might want to do with that string? Could he think it's a worm and eat it? And what do you think will happen as the bird flies higher and higher, further and further away? Let's see. The sweater began to disappear right before Harry's eyes. First one leg, then the neck, then the other leg, then the back, and then finally, the whole thing was just one long, long piece of flying wool into the sky. The sweater was gone. Harry could hardly believe it. Then he barked and he jumped with joy. Then he ran around the yard. See the bird pulling? It's coming apart. And pulling, it's coming more apart. And then it's gone. Harry is so happy right now. Why did that happen? Right, because if you have a loose string and you keep pulling, the whole thing will come apart. He ran down the street barking, thank you, to the bird over and over and over again. The bird and the wool were just a flying speck in the sky now. Why do they look like a flying speck? Right, because the further it goes away, the smaller it looks. But Harry kept following and barking to thank him. See the string up? There's Harry. He feels very happy and relieved. He came home thirsty and tired and was having a drink in the kitchen when the children ran in. "We got a letter from Grandma," one of them said. "She's coming to visit us," shouted the other. Harry thought of the sweater and his tail dropped. Usually when a dog's tail drops, they're sad or upset. What do you think Harry's thinking? Uh-oh, Grandma's coming. She's going to be expecting me to be wearing that sweater, right? Before Grandma came, the family looked everywhere for Harry's sweater. They wanted her to see how nice Harry looked in it. And of course, they couldn't find it anywhere. Only Harry knew why. Oh boy. And he's not talking, is he? When Grandma arrived, Harry ran out to her with his leash. Then he sat up and begged. "All right, Harry," said Grandma. "After I've had my lunch and a nap, we'll go for a walk." That afternoon, Harry and Grandma and the children started off on their walk. Harry barked happily and pulled towards the park. When they got to the park, Harry pulled even harder. What do you think he's pulling so hard for? My dog does that when he wants to show me something. The children let him off his leash and he ran ahead. He seemed to be barking at something. What do you think he might be barking at? All at once, he stopped under a big tree. Do you think he's barking at a squirrel? My dogs do that. He looked up and he began to bark and wag his tail so fast. Grandma and the children were running to see what it was he was trying to show them. They got to the tree and looked up. Suddenly, one of the children said, "I see a nest. It's made of wool," said the other, "and it's the very same color as Harry's sweater," they shouted together. "It is Harry's sweater," said Grandma. Just then, the bird looked out of the nest. "Look, Grandma, look," shouted the children. "Harry gave his sweater to a bird. Isn't that nice?" "I wonder how he did that," said Grandma. The children sang and Harry wagged his tail harder than ever. Oh, that bird is really liking that sweater nest better than Harry did, because it's no roses for Harry. At Christmas time, Harry got a present from Grandma. What do you think it was? Another sweater with roses? No roses for Harry. It was a new sweater. Harry liked this one much better. When he tried it on, it felt cozy and snug, just as the bird in the nest. But best of all, it didn't have roses. It was black with white spots, just like Harry's fur. So, no roses for Harry. That's a good story. I like Harry. He's a funny dog. And it's good for the word for. And I have another one for you tomorrow. Okay, so you will do your sight word practice paper that you love to do. And this one has have in it also with special directions to put a box around the word have and highlight the word for. Does that mean you don't have to read the other words? No, you do, because this is practicing how to use these words, okay? All right, boys and girls, I'll see you in a little while for religion. Math.